Welcome to Bring Out Your Badass Self, a movement to break your negative thoughts and habits and instead focus on building each other up and encouraging fearless authenticity.
Each week, we will get vulnerable and share experiences alongside our guests and audience. Come rediscover your inner badass self.
Good morning, badass.
Hey, hey, hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am well. You are sounding so clear this week. Now that I know the difference.
I have my microphone next to me.
Right. Yes.
So I don't know if you recognize the hey, hey, hey. My husband and I were saying that this morning.
Fat Albert?
Is it Fat Albert?
Hey, hey, hey. Yeah, I think so.
Well, and then we were also thinking there was also a show called What's Happening as well. I don't know if I'm older than you. So and so there was a lot. And so we were getting it confused. My husband was saying Good Times. And I was like, no, it wasn't that one. It was a different one. And so I had to research it, and we were confusing characters and things like that. But it was a good reminiscing about the past and shows that we grew up with. So
yes. As my kids call it, so nostalgic. Like anything they see from my childhood. They're like, oh, how nostalgic. I was like, it's not nostalgic for you.
I know. I was watching a video the other day, and this was even back in 2016 that this video was done. And they were talking about a bottle that this kid had found. And it was what they found is that it was written back in 1989. And he was like, that was so long ago. And I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, he must think I'm dead now.
Right? Oh my God.
So what's going on?
Oh my God, so much. This has been a busy week, and I know it has been for you as well.
Mm-hmm.
Got a new computer.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing a live stream for work, and my computer decided to die right in the middle of it. So it was very eventful Tuesday, and then all the junk you have to do when you get a new computer.
Yes, it's a pain in the ass. But you also luckily you had a colleague that jumped in and said, I got you.
Exactly. Yeah. So it was amazing. So during the live stream, I had, two of my colleagues with me, our marketing director who runs it, and then my counterpart who we flip these live streams each month. He was there, and so I ended up, it was like a slow break, like the laptop did something very weird, and then I was able to get back on. So during the first break, Lindsay did a commercial and she just talked about Project Con and a couple other things, and then all of a sudden when I did come back, she was like, okay, that was just a commercial break, which was so cute and clever. And then, within a couple minutes of me picking it up again, I saw my computer give me a weird warning, and I just had a feeling. I was like, so I said, Bryce, can you try to get your environment ready? Because I'm pretty sure this is happening again. And literally as soon as I said it, boom.
Oh, that's the worst feeling ever.
Oh, it really was. And I don't know about you, but tech issues have a certain way to just really get under your skin sometimes. Cause it's I think maybe because it's so beyond your control, but it's something you depend on all the time. So you really don't feel like it's, you rely on it, and you almost take it for granted. And then when something goes wrong, it's like, how could this happen?
I know.
And for me, I just get instantly angry. I don't know why. Internet issues. So that's why I always try to have like the fastest and best internet that I possibly can. Honestly, so that like when I call, I can say, listen, I pay so much a month. You have to help me because like I'm crying. I don't know why I'm crying, but we don't have internet and I'm crying. Like I don't know why I'm feeling this so deeply, but help me.
Well, I see that we have some people joining us. As you guys are coming in, please be sure to say hello. So let's just say hello to Eric. Eric is coming in. He said, good badass morning. We have Kim. She said, good morning to you amazing badass ladies. Good morning to you, Kim. And then Kim actually came to Riley's volleyball game. I don't know, did I tell you guys that? And so, as well as Mr. Lamb, who we had on as well. And then this last game, Mr. Lamb came back. It was an away game, and Riley, we weren't sure if she broke her ankle. We ended up having to go to the ER, but she luckily didn't break it. She just ended up really, it was a really bad sprain. Yeah. And so we ended up having to get crutches, but she's like refusing to go to school with crutches today. So we'll see how all that works out for her. The sad
did she stay home today?
Yesterday she did. Yeah, she stayed home, but today she's going back. The good news was they came back and said no broken ankle. The bad news is they said, are you good with the height you are because you're not growing anymore? And she looked at them and said, are you kidding me? And she's only like 5'3". She's even less taller than I am. And she was like not happy with that.
I assumed she was going to be taller than you.
I know. And they were like, no, she's not growing anymore. And I was like, oh my gosh. And she was like, not happy.
I kind of feel like they should just keep it a secret.
I know.
So the same thing happened to my niece. Like they're nieces of choice. But they call us aunts, and we're close. So poor Zoe learned the same thing a couple weeks ago and was devastated. She is like, I always imagined myself taller. And she's 13, 14. It's like, why? I don't know. I kind of feel like just leave it a mystery, And
I was like, she's still going to grow a little bit, right? And they were like, no. They were like, no. And I was like, oh my gosh.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just kind of feel, I really felt for Zoe. It was before our last trip to the cottage that she learned it. So kind of all weekend, it would come up and she'd be like, well, I'm going to be short forever.
I know, Leslie, who comes on that does comedy.
Yeah.
She added a message. She's like, just tell her that, we're rocking it. Like short people rock it. We're amazing. And so, well, I want to jump into today's conversation. And so we're very excited to have William Plange, I think that's the way, Plange, on the show today. And so I'm going to go ahead and bring him up and then do an introduction. Here we go. Good morning, William.
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Ghana.
Good morning for him.
US.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
And so welcome to the show. We are excited to have you today. And so I want to do a little bit of an introduction for you. And so William is a celebrated author and mental health advocate who found his purpose in the heart of the forest in Ghana. And with a mission to empower others, he has been recognized globally for his efforts in mental health advocacy and community support. And so today we're going to learn about William and his inspiring journey and discovery of how he turned his struggles into strengths and how he is also inspiring others. And so with that, William, maybe you can tell us where you're coming from today. Where are you located?
Thank you very much. So I'm speaking from Ghana, West Africa, where you come deep into Africa, Ghana. Yeah. I'm currently in Tema. Tema is in Accra. Okay, so I'm currently in Tema right now, but generally I'm from Ghana, and I'm speaking from Ghana right now.
Awesome. We have scheduled a couple of other international guests, but things just didn't work out. But I believe you are our first international guest, which is
Really?
pretty cool. Yeah.
This is history. This is
It
history.
is.
Right.
Mhm.
Yes, we are
Yes.
creating history.
I'm glad to be the first international person on on this show. Honestly,
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
It must
excited
go
about
into
that.
this.
And so we also have Gabe. Gabe's coming in. He says, "Good morning, everyone." So welcome, Gabe. I think this is your first time joining us. It looks like you're coming in from LinkedIn. So thank you for joining us today. Maybe the Gabe is someone that knows you. It's helping to support you.
Sure,
Yeah.
I'm sure. Because
Cool.
I just shared it. I just shared a link that we are on live now, so people should get on and
Good.
hear our story. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, let's jump in. So, how we like to start things off is really just find out about the younger version of William. And so, when you were a young child, tell us about your childhood. Tell us about growing up, what it was like related to your parents, the things that you did as you were growing up and in school or as you were a young child.
Thank you. So for me, I grew up with a single parent, my mom. Dad wasn't around, he comes and goes and all of that. So I mostly, grew up with my mom and then my grandmom. So my grandmom had this bar where we used to sell, alcoholic beverages at a tender age. And I remember I thought I came from a rich home because as a child, when you ask for anything, they provided, like, I want a biscuit, and they give you biscuits. So for me, I thought I was coming from a rich home. But when I grew up, I realized that no, that was a big scam. I didn't come from a rich home. So, and I also love football. Football, I don't know why I didn't end up as a footballer now, but who knows? I was very good in football when I was a kid. And I went to school. I was very brilliant in school. But one thing is, my childhood was all fun, though I didn't get the fatherly love because my dad wasn't around. I think apart from that, it was all good. It was all good.
Yeah.
But one thing I just realized that growing up, I realized I didn't come from a rich home as I thought. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
when
when you were rich, I mean, like there was abundance, right? Like that, different kind of rich, right? Because
Yes.
when you asked and you had love, and when you asked for something, it was given,
Yes.
So
When I want toffee, I get it. When I want biscuit, I get it. So to me, I was from a rich home. So there was abundance, yes.
Yes.
Mm.
And when you said football, are you talking about football as in US football or football
No,
as in like soccer?
the UK soccer, not the
Okay,
US
okay.
soccer, yeah.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm used to with anyone else other than the US. Everybody calls it football.
Yes,
So,
I get
yeah.
it. Mm.
which makes more sense, and all ways of the word, because it is a game with your foot and the ball.
Yeah.
So I think the American football, like, it's so stupid that you did that. Like, why didn't they name it something else?
Well, just so you know, it actually came from the UK. UK actually switched it to football and then they switched it back. And so,
Probably.
yeah, so that was one of the history things that I ended up learning. And so I thought that was interesting. Yeah, so well, let's dive in a little bit more and talk a little bit about your story. And so as you are growing up and you're starting to go out into the world, can you tell us a little bit about the things that you experienced there?
Okay. So for me, I grew up from a society where we were told that when you go to school and then you pass your exams, you're going to get a good job to do. You're going to buy a car. You're going to get a house, get married, and your life will be so perfect. So I grew up with this mindset, but I realized that I went to school, I passed my exams, and there was no job for me. And that was a big scam from the society I come from. So being jobless, got me so depressed. I was looking for a job, I wasn't getting it. And in my country, before you get a good job, you need to know somebody in the government to get a good permanent job.
Okay.
I was so unfortunate I didn't get that. But my friends that I went to school with all were having the good jobs, some bought their cars and all of that. They were living life. So one day we just met as friends, like just to have a chit chat. And then one of them passed the comment to me that, hey, William, get a life. We are all moving ahead. And
Uh,
that statement, I say words are very powerful. Probably he was just saying something, but then it really hits me so hard that I got more depressed and I decided to move from the city to go live in the forest. It was a personal decision because I wanted to just move far away so I don't see these friends, living their life or some even
yeah.
mocking me. Yeah, so I took that personal decision to move from the city to go live in the forest so that I don't get to see them at all. For that, I'm going to be peaceful. And today I say it was a great decision I took. Yes, though the forest was not comfortable. No, there was no electricity. There was no good drinking water. We're drinking from a stream that looks green in color. Just imagine.
Oh my gosh.
Animals, I tell you, animals, name it, everything drinks from that water. So while in the forest, what we do was, we wake up and we walk like 4 hours to the farm to get food stuff. Then we carry it on our head and bring it back home. 4 hours. So it's an 8 hours journey to get food stuff and come home and cook and eat. And that's what we're doing. That was a daily routine for us. Now, there's one thing that I realized, anytime while we're in the forest, anytime somebody had a problem and they came to me and I just gave them some words of advice and it healed them and they said, God bless you, William. Thank you for helping me out. If it wasn't you, I couldn't have got this done. Anytime they say those words, there was this deep feeling inside of me that made my day. I don't think money can even pay for that kind of feeling. There
Yeah.
I realized that no, I have a gift of just using words to solve people's problem by just giving them some encouragement and all of that. So one day I was just sitting idle under a tree in the evening, just talking to myself, praying that God, what's next? What do I do now? Because I'm growing. What do I do? Then I heard a voice tell me that, William, go back to the city and start a business called the Errand Boy. And that was my first business idea. And guess what? I had it from the forest where nobody wants to go. So I came back to the city after 6 months. Then I started Errand. The Errand Boy was all about helping busy scheduled people like the bankers, the lawyers, those in the city who didn't have time to do their rounds. So I set in and I pick their kids from school, do their groceries for them and all of that. And anytime they said, God bless you, William, thank you for helping me out. That thing, that deep feeling came back. It
Yeah.
was it was different. I don't know how to describe that feeling. Just hearing that, for me being able to help somebody in a situation, it made my day. And they were not paying me. It was just tips that they were giving me. So I realized that I've got contact with these high profile people in the community. Now I knew judges, I knew policemen, I knew, name it, all those people would love to meet. I knew them because of my errand boy I was doing. So I knew who to call when I need some kind of help, you know. And
Yeah.
one thing in Ghana, we have a market here where used clothes from the US, from the UK, they bring them down here and then it's dumped there. It's very cheap. We call it the thrift store, but they are used clothes that. So I started that business, and before you get the best of clothing, you need to go there as early as 3 a.m. at dawn. So
Okay.
I journey there, go there, make my selections, put it on my WhatsApp status, and these same high profile people I did the errand boy for them, they were buying from me. Perhaps I thought they didn't even need it because those people are too big for those used clothes. But then they wanted to support me for my assistance to them.
Yeah.
And it was a blessing. They supported me so well. But somewhere along the line, the business collapsed. And I know business are like that. Business, it goes up, it comes down, and it's like, so it collapsed. Then COVID came in 2019. And COVID, I say today, is a blessing and a curse. And this is why I say that, yeah, because when COVID came in, my grandmother, I lived in a family house with my grandmother, somebody who had loved me from my infant, did everything for me. One day woke up and told me that, William, I need you out of my house because I am broke and I need money. So I'm going to rent your room in the family house. So you are 18 years and above. Go live your life. I thought it was a joke. One day I came back, she had packed all my belongings outside the gate that leave my house. And that was my lowest moment in my life. Honestly, it felt like my whole life has come to an end because I didn't know where to go.
Yeah.
So I packed my stuff and go get a small ghetto wooden structure in the city. It was a very small ghetto, very small, and I couldn't even place a bed in there. So I had my belongings there, and then I was just in there. I wake up every morning crying because I don't know where to go to, and then COVID has come in. COVID surfaced, and then lockdown. I have no job, nowhere to go. Sometimes I wake up so hungry, nothing to eat, and I keep on crying. So that was when I jumped on LinkedIn, and this is why I say COVID became a blessing. I jumped on LinkedIn, and I was just sharing my story, and I had pictures of me while I was in the forest. I don't know why I take pictures of every situation I go through. For some reason, I don't know why. It might be divine. So I was just posting these forest pictures and sharing stories, encouraging people that regardless of where you can never give up, keep on doing what you're doing. And while I was doing this, I was indoor crying. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, I was indoor crying, but I was motivating people outside. So one day, this man from the US saw my post and said, William, I think you have a beautiful story. Let me introduce you to this group in the United States so that you can tell your story to them. I'm like, oh, why not? I want my story to be heard. So I jumped on the call. It was a Zoom call, and only it was me from Africa, and then about 50 businessmen and women from the US, and I
Wow.
was telling them my story. So I told them my story, and then they all loved it. They loved it because some of them were on the verge on collapsing their business. But when I told them my story, they were like, "Ah, if William has gone through all these things and he's still pushing, why can't I also push?" So
Yeah.
I gave them hope that day, and they all loved it. They all loved it, and they featured me on the Times Square Billboard, and I paid $0 to be featured on the Times Square Billboard. And I tell you, in Ghana, musicians here are dying to be on that billboard. But I just got there without paying anything. And that's what resilience and not giving up can do, you know.
Mm.
Yeah.
So I just want to show this to your viewers. I actually make these marks, and I show these marks to those people in the US. Now this is how it works. You see, it is black. Now I pour hot water in it. I believe every human being has something special inside of them that needs to come out for the world to see. So this mark is initially black. Then few minutes later, you see an image pop up, just like that. This is who we are. This is what we are. Everybody has something inside of them that needs to come out for the world to see. But sometimes, if you're not aware, you think you are black, you are good for nothing. And also, sometimes you need to go through uncomfortable situations to bring it out. And this hot water signifies the uncomfortable situations. I had to go to the forest to find my first business idea, the errand boy. I had to go to the forest to go find my ability to use my words, my voice to encourage people. Look at where I went to find it. I got on a Times Square billboard because I was stuck from home and I went to live in the ghetto. I was crying and I got on LinkedIn. So uncomfortable situations, I see it's not something to bring us down. It is something to bring the beautiful things that is hidden inside of us out. And that's what I preach. And so while I was just sharing this thing, not knowing somebody was monitoring me for a year and I didn't know about it. I just got a message on LinkedIn that, William, we've been monitoring you. We are organizing the Caribbean Global Awards in the UK, and then we want to give you an award for your global effort in helping people recover from depression. And for the first time I flew to the UK, I had no idea how that was going to happen, but it happened, all because of resilience and not giving up on what I was doing. Okay, so I went to the UK to get the awards, and I went there back again to promote my book, No Human is Useless. And that is me in the forest, and that's the book, No Human is Useless, about my journey. So I sat down one day and be like, no, people go through what I've been through. There are a lot of youth going through depression, going through joblessness that is eating them up. And so why not use my story, my journey, to help them out? So I decided to go to schools in Ghana to speak to the students and tell them that, you know what, when we're growing up, they told us that when you complete school and then you pass your exams, you're going to get a good job,
Right.
your own car, and live life. It is not always like that. Sometimes you need to create your own job. You need to do things for yourself. So I empower students, I empower the youth with my own story. And so far I've been seeing some great transformation in them. You know, when I'm speaking with them, the emotions, they'll be like, no, William, if you've gone through all these things, we can also do it. And that is a bit about my story and my journey till now. And we are still pushing. We are still pushing. We are not ending now. Yeah, thank you.
Wow. Thank you. You are so there's so many things that I want to ask you. Like a million. Okay. So first of all, those friends, right? Are you still friends with them? And the guy that said, "Hey, William, get a life," does he know the impact those words had on him? Had on you?
Can you believe when I went on the Times Square Billboard, he messaged me, "Congratulations, William, you're doing well. Let's meet and talk. Let's meet and talk." And it looks like sometimes I say, you know, in my book I wrote, there's a chapter called "Thank Your Enemies because they paved the way." You know, if he hadn't said that, I wouldn't have moved to the forest for all these things to happen. So perhaps sometimes he is not even aware what he did. He's not even aware because he's acting all so cool and all of that. But there's no need to. I'm rather thanking him because he paved the way for me, you know, to challenge me to move ahead and then do all that I'm doing now. They all come around. They all come. Those who hurt me those days, they all come around. But one thing I do is I am very cool with them, but I've also shut my door to them. Yes, because I think I need a peace. I need a peace of mind to do what I'm doing. But we are not grudging. Okay, when they call me, I pick up. When they need something, I help them and all of that. But you can't come into my circle because now I am moving with like-minded people who believe in what I'm doing, and then all these people are coming because they think I am making money now. Okay, it's not genuine love for my mission to empower people. Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's really important. I love that you are such a good advocate for yourself. Right? And and it seems like so your mom and your grandmother must have taught you to take care of yourself and take care of others in some way, right?
Yeah.
Because it seems like that was a part of you from a very young age.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's important to always surround yourself with the people that make you feel the best, the people that are like-minded, like you said, or even like the next level up, right? Like, so, you know, like what you even aspire to get to, because we all have those goals, right? That we want to, you know, do for our life. So
that is true. That is true. Yeah.
And I want to pull up some comments that have come in. And so Gabe said that he's here to support everyone. So we appreciate that, Gabe. So thank you so much for coming today. Tori from YouTube. Hey, Tori. She said, good morning, you all. So excited for this one. And then someone letting Divine know hello. So if Divine's on, say hello, Divine. And then Dr. Joseph says, amazing story. May God continue to bless you.
Amen.
And then I did post as well the book that William was sharing. So if you guys are wanting to check that out, please go do that. I included the link from Amazon. And so So, William, as you are continuing your journey, can you tell us a little bit more about, where are you now? What is it that you're doing now? You've shown people how resilience can allow them to continue to strive for more, that, don't just accept what it is, the box that people sometimes will put you in. You
Mm,
really have shown that spending some time with yourself in the forest and really bringing, I consider it divine, your higher self was
yeah,
telling you, hey William, I'm giving you the answers. And that's, I think, one of the biggest things that I want people to listen to in your story is that when we go inward and we start to become in alignment with our higher self, we
mm,
will get the answers, because we're all connected.
yeah,
So even the guy that said, the things that sort of made you feel bad, that person is still we're all one, we're all connected. And so that person ended up, even though it was negative, it ended up inspiring you. It ended up making you want to do more. And then you have this inner voice that's telling you these things.
yeah,
Then, the universe is bringing you these other individuals to demonstrate all of the amazing qualities that you have. And so letting that you do have purpose
yeah,
in life. And then from that, you're then helping other people to understand that they have purpose. So I just
yeah.
love the whole circle of how things happened.
So yes, like you said, um, before that, I just want to make a comment that in my book also there's a chapter 3, which is my favorite chapter. It's titled "Religion Almost Enslaved." Or religion enslaved me and almost changed my dreams. Okay,
Mm,
people find it so controversial, but then it was my story about me finding myself in a church, okay, where a man of God was, dictating for me, was saying, "Don't go, don't work, stay in the house of God and pray for people." Meanwhile, he was working, his family members were working, but I don't know how he was able to do that, but I wasn't thinking for myself. Okay, so I was in the church serving, but he was working and making money and all of that, and it brought me so down. So one day I had a wake up call that God lives in us. Okay, nobody can introduce me to God. I can introduce I can introduce myself to God, because God relates with people differently. Okay,
Mhm.
for me, I've had some high spiritual encounters, which I don't need somebody to come and tell me God is like this. Meanwhile,
Right.
he might see God as color red. I might see him as yellow. Okay, because even in the Bible, when Moses met God in a different way as Joseph and the other characters. So for me, I had a wake up call, and then I decided to choose spirituality because I wanted to have my own experience with God, not
Mhm.
somebody else's experience. And that was the one decision I make that has really changed my life a lot. And there's so much in that book that probably people should get the read, especially with spirituality. And that is what I work with right now, and that has really helped me so much. You don't need anybody to introduce God to you. That's what I want to put across. And then to come back to what I'm doing right why I'm helping people and what I'm doing right now is I think 3 days ago I was appointed as a lead, okay, for an African group in 17 countries. Okay, it's based in the US, but then they have 17 countries on board. It's called Agri Code Expo. They are having a project called School of Purpose. Okay. So when the founder reached out to me, she realized that I am the best person to take lead of this, because I talk about helping people find their purpose. She apparently had the idea, but she didn't know how to go about it. So when she connected with me, she realized, no, William, you are the best man for this. So she has entrusted me to take care for all the 17 countries and have a course with them about how to find their purpose with my story. So that's one major thing I'm doing right now. And I'm also trying to develop a course about no human is useless, and then put it across, because I alone cannot reach many people as you know, I can't reach it. So these courses can help push to other countries. And then if there's any means of having a one-on-one discussion with people who are interested, I could do that. But aside that, everywhere I go to schools and empower people, empower the students and the youth. Any opportunity I get, I just use it to empower, because it's like a burning fire inside of me. If I don't do it, I don't rest, you know. And it's not about, yes, it's not about the money, but though money is important, it's not money. When I do it, I feel so fulfilled, and it's something from my higher self, which is prompting me to do that. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have two things. One, yesterday was your birthday, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And so first, just happy birthday on that. And then I did notice that you started you're a freelance, and I think this is the company you were talking about. So it's
Yeah.
Agra Code Expo. Is that correct?
Yes.
And so
Yes.
it is 100% youths that are ready to make a difference by using new technological innovation to improve food production. And
Yes.
so it's combining technology information as well as the agricultural needs of people, correct?
Yes, so that's the main mission of them. But then they just brought up the school of purpose, which is in
School of
line with
Purpose.
what I do, to empower and have a mindset, you know, trigger, so that they can realize what they can do,
Yes.
how they can find their purpose. So that is what I'm handling. But then the whole group is for the agriculture and the use of technology. But one part of it, which is the school of purpose, which they started building, is what I'm handling right now. Yes.
Wonderful. It's not, just the phrase school of purpose, like that should be what all schools are, right? Like
I tell
you,
you.
to find your purpose.
Yeah.
So can I ask you, and how old were you when you started Errand Boy?
So it was in 2012. No, 2014. Sorry, 2014. Well, that was when I went to the forest. So I came back and I started the errand boy that time,
Yeah.
2014.
And
My age, I need to calculate it. I don't really know. But it was 2014, but I'm 34 now.
yeah,
So you
okay.
just do the math for me.
Okay.
Yeah. So you were
So
24.
10 years ago. Yeah, 10 years ago. So
You were
10
24 years
years.
old.
10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
when you thought of Errand Boy, or not thought of it, like it was like a message from your higher
Yeah.
self, or like a divine message from
Yeah.
God to say,
Yeah.
William, this is what you need to do. You need to go back to the city and do this. And
Yeah.
that's, and William, that's why you came here. You came here to find this. You found it. Now go do it.
Yeah.
And, but I'm assuming you had no idea like that it would turn into this amazing network of all of the people that you needed to know before you went to the forest, but you didn't, right? So
Yeah.
like, it's so cool that it kind of came full circle, because,
Yeah.
you were in a position to not know to not have the network that you needed to get the job, right? You didn't have
Yeah.
the connections into the community. Then you come back and start this company, and it sounds like you were doing this for free. You were just providing the service, and they would tip you because they of course loved you and were grateful for this. But like, who starts a business and just does it? Like you are so clearly divine and dedicated to helping, like, and when you say that you can't rest if you don't go empower people, I believe you. Like, I can just tell that is true, that really gets to you if you're not out there caring for others. And I just think, of course it's absolutely beautiful. But I'm so excited to see what else you're going to do. Shit, in 10 years, You've done so much. I
Yeah.
can't imagine what the next 10 years are going to be like for you. And I'm super excited to be connected to your journey now.
Yeah. And I must say that, there's nothing like you're doing something for free, even though if you're not being paid. Let me tell you this. There's nothing you do in this life that you will never get results or reward or something at the end. If you're a thief and you keep stealing, one day you'll be caught. If you're doing good and you keep doing it, something good will come out from it.
Yes.
So for me, I most people collapse their business because of the why they started with it. If it's all about money, business is not always smooth. It goes up, it comes down. So when it comes down and then 6 months there's no sales, you might think you are doing the wrong thing because your purpose was the money and the money is not coming. So you'll be compelled to quit.
Yeah.
And it is consistency that brings the results. So if there's no love for it, you will never be consistent. If there's money and the money is not coming, you'll quit. But if you're doing it out of love and something that edges you from within, no matter what, you keep doing it, even if money is not coming. And that is where consistency comes in. And that's where the result also comes in the end. So I don't believe there's anything free. When they reach out to me for this Agricode Expo, they were like, "Oh, we know we can't pay you, but then, like, oh, no worry, this is what I love to do. Let's do it." I have already envisioned something in the future, which I know is going to happen. Okay, so I'm just going all out, and then who knows? Who knows? I believe because I always I don't do anything just like I wake up and do it. I listen to my inner self, and I'm so glad I've been able to connect with the spirituality inside of me
Yes.
and broke free from religion because of my experience.
Yeah.
I am with you on that 100%. It is how I've continued to be successful in life. And the moment because I was actually agnostic for the longest time. And the moment I ended up having that connection and understanding that, God is within us, divine, the source, energy, those types of things. And also, I believe wholeheartedly in what it is that you're saying, that if you focus on making sure that you're helping people, that you're doing what's right, things will come for you.
Exactly.
And that was one of the things in sales that I really always focused on, is that I can't sell people things that I don't believe in. And so, like, if I don't think that it's a good fit for you, I'm going to tell you that it's not a good fit. And what I found is that actually allowed me, one, to focus on the people that it was a good fit on. But two, it allowed me to be able to have that integrity and that authenticity with people, that they knew I wasn't going to give them something that they didn't really need, and that people see through that. And so, and I wasn't worried about the money in it coming in, because I knew if we stayed focused on our purpose and what it is that we're really doing, that is when money starts to come. And so I think that your mindset in that is where a lot of people get into fear mode. And I love the fact that you didn't focus on that. Like, you're like, I see it. It's not coming now, but it's going to come. And I think that it's that mindset that when we do that and we just continue to focus on giving back and helping others, and those are some of the things, the best advice that I can give to people is give with love, and those things will come back to you.
Sure. Yeah, I still believe in that. I believe in that too as well.
Yeah. So we have lots of comments. So Divine is actually, she switched over to YouTube. So she's coming in there. And then she just said, "This is amazing. I appreciate you all." And she's just also encouraging everyone, you got to like this video. So thank you for that. And then Joseph said, "Thank you for sharing. You certainly have the formula for good life." I have to say, he's asking, to forgive the other individuals. And I don't know that you necessarily haven't forgiven them, but I think you're focusing on the people that are in alignment with you, that are on the same path.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah. And he said, to get a life you probably wouldn't have cultivated. And we agree. Yeah. Such a wise story.
Yeah.
And then we have someone coming in from Slovenia. So welcome. I don't think that you've ever been here. I really appreciate you coming. And we do this every Friday, 9:30 Eastern time in the US. So please come back. And she loves what you have shared. Dr. Joseph also says, no human is useless. Keep helping people and continue to get the best in people that come your way. Somehow we get somewhere by the help we get from sources we may know or never know. I completely agree with that. I connect with people all the time. Like I connected with you through LinkedIn. I saw your story and I was like, I love this. It's in alignment with like what we're trying to do. And I think that is the biggest thing, is that the more we connect with people that are in the same vibrational alignment that we are in, the more we help others on their journey, the more it just helps the overall collective. So I love that. And then we do have some LinkedIn users. Your name's not showing up, but they said, hello, everyone, beautiful soul. And someone also just said happy birthday as well. Yep. So you're getting some happy birthday messages.
Yes.
And then Maya, she said, amen to that. If you love the process, you are good to go. And then also, no human is useless. And so someone supporting you. And then
This one's great. Yeah.
Yeah, I love this one. So can you define consistency? What does consistency mean in your professional terms?
Okay, so for me, I'll give an example first, and then I answer that. Okay, so I had this job in the US. I had this job in the US. It was something I was dying for, and I had it. I was working remotely from Ghana, and it was paying me so well, so well. Because when the money comes and I convert it in my local currency, it is huge.
Yeah.
So when I had that job, I turned down no human is useless, and then shifted my attention to it. I was giving my 100% full to the job because that is bringing me money. And I dropped no human is useless. I dropped empowering people. I dropped, sharing all these messages. Now, 7 months along the line, the business collapsed. And then my boss said his finances are down, so he's sorry and all of that. And it broke me down. And I came back to pick up No Human, and that's what I'm doing right now. But I was doing No Human is Useless, and it brought all these travel to the UK. It brought all these, all these amazing things that it brought. It was worth it more than the money I was having. Okay.
Yeah.
But I shifted my focus, and that's where I broke the consistency on No Human. Otherwise, by now I would have gone somewhere where I am not currently. Okay. I picked it up in just these few months, and now I get this role with this Africa Expo and all of that.
Yeah.
And I just want to say consistency is picking one thing that you love to do and staying true to it, and let everybody knows this is what you stand for. If somebody mentions William, no human is useless to come up, not something else. If you are saying you are helping people recover from depression, stay true to that. Okay, and then just keep doing that. Is consistency for me.
Yeah. So finding your purpose and following it and staying true to it and learning and growing with it, right? Like your purpose, like as you as a human, you evolve and grow and learn more. Your purpose can evolve with you, right?
Yeah.
But you have to keep listening, right? And what I'm hearing from you is chasing a success that is defined outside of your purpose, right? Like money or like sex or something that isn't really in your purpose. When you chase those things, you're distracting yourself from why you're here, right? And that's when you get into trouble. And
exactly.
Yeah. And I think like here in the United States, there's all sorts of levels of socioeconomics, right? But, no one is walking 8 hours a day round trip for food. You know, like no one's doing that here in this country. There's bad things that are happening in this country, of course, but there's still, you know, there's still homeless shelters, and there's things that are, you know, there's still like structure there for those that are jobless or struggling at the very, you know, and I really feel like, you know, putting yourself in a forest with a group of people and then your whole purpose at that point, you know, is to feed yourselves, right? Is to take care of your basic needs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And when you are brought down to that basic level of humanity, I think that's like where the clarity, you know, can really shine through, right? That's why you were able to listen to the divine, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was like,
exactly.
so you ran from the distractions, you know, and you just knew I gotta get out of here. I gotta separate myself from this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, they say there's no Wi-Fi in the forest, but that is where you get the best connections. And that is so true. That is so true. That is where you get the best of connections. There's no noise there. The city is flooded with noise, car horns, and all of that. But when you go to the forest, it's the most peaceful place you could. When you get there, you don't think about bills. You don't think about anything.
Right.
There's no distractions. So you are right about that. It's the most peaceful place, even though just less comfort like electricity and then, you know, good drinking water. Apart from that, that's where you can connect to your inner self, honestly. Yeah.
And you had this community right around you, and you found yourself still helping people. So even though there were very little distractions, it was, you know, it was a peaceful situation. People still had problems, right? They still needed help, right?
Yes.
So it's not like it's all, you know, amazing.
That is true.
Right.
That is also true. That is very true. Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pull up a couple of more comments. And so, love it when you cut the noise and you can tune into yourself. And so I very much agree with that. And so some of the things, the simple things that you really just said is that's why a lot of times people recommend meditation, because we are cutting out the noise. We need that time away to be able to hear. We're so worried about the future or worried about the past, or, you know, depression is really about the past. It's wanting what you used to have. Worry is about anxiousness. It's about worrying about the future. And so if we focus on the now and what it is that we can connect to related to the now, that's really when we start to have further inner guidance for ourselves. And then the other part that I really love is that you're out in nature. And so many times it's nature that is allowing us to ground, putting our feet just simply on the grass and being out, especially with water. I don't know if water, you know, you were talking about, you know, drinking from the stream, but just water is a source of divine as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's great connections when you are around water. I feel that all the time. Yeah. That's so true.
I love all of that. And so, well, let's talk a little bit, William, about, you've talked a little bit about what you're doing now, but you also have some new stuff coming. And so I want to also talk about how you're continuing to give back to society. You said you're focused on staying on purpose, and you have some new stuff coming too.
Yes. So currently, first off, I'm writing a second book. I have a 1-year-old daughter called Kilani. Okay, and then Kilani is so adorable. And when she came, I'm learning so much from her. Okay, so the book is titled Kilani, How Babies Teach Us patience, growth, and spirituality in our lives and businesses. And it's an amazing book. I'm still learning from her. Like Kilani wants to touch the wire, a wire that would end up shocking her. Okay, but I want to pull her away from it, and she still wants to touch it.
Right.
So I need to get my phone to distract her. So I give her my phone to distract her from the wire. And I feel this is negotiation skills in our lives. Okay. That is it. So things like that, it's I'm really thinking deep into it and putting that in a book, that how babies are the amazing teachers that we could have in this world.
Yes.
People don't get to know that, but then for me, because anything I do, I don't take it physically. I look into the spiritual aspect of it. I go deep into things before I do them. Like no human is that how the name came up, I can't even explain it. You know, it was all divine, and it's moving. And also, I launched my website yesterday on my birthday, nohumanissueless.com, and there are amazing stuff there. I'm also doing book donations to schools, some less privileged schools in Ghana. I have some books there. I'm doing that. I do them from time to time, and I'm hoping that I also get support to do more of what I do, because me alone, it's sometimes it's very hard, but the love of it, I keep doing. But I'm hoping to get support to do more. So currently,
Yeah.
it's about my book, my upcoming book about my daughter Kilani, and then the donations to less privileged schools in Ghana. That's what I'm about now. And then my website is live now, nohumanissueless.com, and there are so amazing things coming up. I have merchandises like with a shirt, no human is useless, all on the site. So you can check it out too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. It's amazing, and I love it. And I can't wait to read the book about Kalani. So
Yeah,
you
love
know,
it.
I love that topic. I have not thought. I think pretty deeply about what babies teach us and what kids teach us and what parenting teaches us. You're at the beginning, William, and that's awesome. And it's, if you are already this connected to your daughter, your relationship with her is going to be amazing. I can just already tell, even when you just talking about her, how strongly you feel and how connected you are. That's a beautiful thing. I think
I think he might have lost connection. And so I do want to pull this up. And so this was Margaret Martinez. She said, that he is such a humble man who endured circumstances and brought them as opportunities. And so, William, I think you're back. And
Yeah.
so you froze there for a second. I also just want to encourage people to go to nohumanisyuseless.com to check out the things. Now, the books are definitely there, and then the charity that you were talking about to be able to support, is there a link there too?
But I didn't hear the last part of it, please.
The charity that you were talking about to be able to support the kids in Ghana, that's also linked there on that website as well.
Yes, it's also there. It's also there
Okay.
as well. Yeah.
Perfect.
And one thing I forgot to say about Kilani. Kilani has a project. Okay, we started it at when she was 6 months old, and it's called the Kilani Project, which is all about, helping people, mothers who go through cesarean sessions. Okay, and reason why I did that was before we gave birth to her, I prayed to God that we shouldn't go through cesarean sessions, and then we did not go through it. But then when we're leaving, there were some mothers in there who had gone through that, and we were not able to afford the bills to pay for it. So I just held Kilani. I don't know why I did. I held her, and it's like, hey, when you grow up, you're going to see to it that people who go through cesarean sessions, who don't have money to pay, you're going to sort it out. And then when I said that, she just did like this. And I was like, okay. So we're going. So I started that project, but it's on hold for now. We're going to revive it because I'm focusing on, the No Human Initiative now.
Right.
But that is in the pipeline too as well. There's just to support women who go through cesarean sections.
Mm.
Yeah, because that's a huge problem outside. I mean, it's a problem in the U.S. too, but you know, it's a huge problem outside of the U.S. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I hope you include some humor. You know, so like one of my favorite things to do is like to observe babies and to like notice and observe how reactionary they are, right? You know, like they drink something and they don't like it, they just like spit it out. You know, they're like, you know, like I like imagine if we all could still do that, you know, like if we all just were that kind of responsive. It's hilarious. And it's also
it's beautiful. It's beautiful too.
right.
Sometimes I do it. Sometimes I do it with her. Sometimes I need to go shave my beard, the whole beard, and come back home. And she can't recognize me. She's running away from me. I'm like, oh, come on, it's me, it's daddy, you know. So we have those times too as well.
Yes.
That's beautiful. It's beautiful.
That is awesome. Well, you guys, if you also want to connect with William, I am including his LinkedIn profile. I also see that he is on Instagram, so I'm including that as well. And so, I want to maybe start to wrap things up and do a little bit of final thoughts. And so, when you think about the things that you're doing and the struggles that you have seen also other people go through, what would be the overall arching message that, you know, beyond no human is useless? What would be the overarching message that you want people to sort of take away from today's conversation?
So one thing I always say is that embrace your purpose. It is within you. Okay, you can't find your purpose outside. You can't find God in religion. Everything is inside of you. Okay, and know that you are special. You were born special. You were chosen because you know they said about when a mother and a father goes to bed and then you know there's so much millions of sperms that goes into the woman, but only one gets the chance to hit the egg. So look at about 2 million people. You are the only one to survive and come out to this world. It means you have a purpose. You are here for something. And so I believe nobody is useless. Everybody has something deep inside that needs to come out. The only challenge is how to find it. Okay, that's the only challenge. But then I when you search deep, you're going to get it. And you live a happy life. That's the definition for happy life.
Yes.
Not trying to be something else, just being you. That is happiness.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Just be you.
Just be you.
I always
Yeah.
say, just be you, not them.
Right.
So, I mean, we all have our own uniqueness, and the world would be a really boring place if we all acted the same and if we all thought the same. And so it's the beauty in all the other thoughts and all the other perspectives and finding the commonality. But ultimately, it's about loving each other and helping each other. I mean, it's a very simple philosophy. My husband, we call it ELE. He says, everybody love everybody. It's a simple philosophy in life.
Mm-hmm. You know, one of my core memories, or something that I clearly remember from my childhood, and I was like a preteen or a teenager when this happened, but I remember with driving with my dad, actually, because I lived close to where I like my parents' house is very close to my current where I live, right? So it actually this conversation I had with my dad happened on my street, and I can see the spot from my window. You know, I have a monitor here, but I have a window right behind, and I can see the spot where my dad said this to me in the car as he was driving. And just out of nowhere, he said, "You're here to do something special." Like, he said, you don't know what it is yet, or we don't know what it is yet, but you are here for something special, Cate. You know, and that stuck with me. And I want every person to hear that, right? To have either someone they believe in or someone they love, you know, tell them that, like, you are special. There's something in you that is special. And I just think that's a beautiful thing. And I know that Keelani is going to hear that a million times in her lifetime and already has. Yeah. But, please think, to our audience and others, think about that. Spread that message, especially to young people, because, their brains are developing. They're becoming who they are. We have this opportunity as parents and as a society to mold a little bit of this and to model the kindness and the love and the purpose, for them. So I resonate so deeply with everything that you have gone through and where you are, William. I think
thank you.
You're truly amazing. And like I said, I can't wait to be a part of your journey.
Wow. Thank you. My door is always open.
Good. I love that. Well, we have a lot more comments and then we'll wrap things up. And so Maria said, I snuck out of the school demo for a minute. Good morning, y'all. Looking forward to the replay. So she was joining us a little bit late, but she's going to check out the replay. And then Divine Wisdom Mother Goddess. Yes, our purpose is our essence and to love it unapologetically. We are source code. It's our birthright to shine. And that's also why I labeled this Shadows to Shine, because it was coming out of that depression. It was the shadows of the forest. And what it allowed you to be able to do is to find the shine, the divine. And so whenever I was listening to your story, that's what sort of resonated with me is seeing you come out from the shadows and find your true essence and who it is that you are. And so I loved that. And then authentically and unapologetically you, and Divine liked the ELE. Everybody love everybody. And Maya said, this came at a perfect time for me. Thank you for that. And she said, yes, Kate, 100% agree. Such a great point. And so, William, thank you so much for joining us today. It has been, I hope, very inspiring for people to really understand that you can also find source within you, divine within you, to be able to find your true purpose. And then also that consistency that once you figure out your purpose, stick to that and understand that it may not come overnight, that there may be different things that you have to go through and people that you connect with that will maybe punch you or help you lift you up. All of those things are going to come in different forms, but each of those experiences along the way, you still don't know your full purpose. Like the things that are happening now, there's also the people you're connecting with. You don't know how they may come into play. And so we ultimately just have to flow in life, and we have to sort of take in the people that we're meeting, the experiences we're dealing with, and just move with those and continue down the path of what we're finding our purpose to be at the moment, because our purpose can continue to evolve as well.
Yeah. That's so true.
Yeah. And the evolution of humanity, right? Like, so, us all starting very young and how we evolve, it's divine in and of itself, right? Because it's magical. Like it's mysterious. And when you're doing it right, when you are living your purpose, the things that you need or the things that will help you, they just come to you, right? It just happens because you're working and you're moving and you're in the right place. You're doing all of those things in the right place, right? And then plus we all have these other like moments, right? So like, you have these pivotal things that happen in your life, like when your grandma said you couldn't, stay there anymore, and when you and Kalani, having Kalani was, super pivotal. All of those things shape us. And then we get to the point where, well, we never actually stay at that point, but we get to follow the flow and continue to like weave in and out of our purpose. Like when you were talking about, the businesses go up and down, there's also like this other weaving, right? That happens. It's like, you got it. Not only do you have to deal with the ups and downs of life, you have to also like dodge stuff.
Yeah, that's
Right?
true. That's true. Yeah.
And being authentic to who you are and having a purpose, that's what keeps you going down the path, right? So avoiding the depression, handling your mental health, all of those things that are in your book, they help you stay on that path to get to your purpose. And there's really, in my opinion, there's nothing more badass than that, right? Like, because like we use badass as like, it's such an empowering word, I think. And it's a little edgy, and that's what it's about. It's about being authentic, doing so fearlessly, and knowing in your heart that it's exactly what you need to be.
Yeah.
I love that. Well, William, thank you for joining us. And I just want to thank our audience for all of the amazing comments and being so interactive with us today. And I just want to encourage everybody to share William's story, to go out there, go to Amazon, buy his book, be on the lookout for the next one, connect with him. Let's continue to give back to others, to love each other, and continue to find those that are on the same level, and then also those that are not quite there. Let's continue to give them those words of encouragement that it's okay. You are where you are, and you just keep being you. And finding your purpose and really listening to your inner self. And so I think if we just continue as a collective to really focus on those things, that's when we become even more badass, that we, find everybody's inner, fearless, authentic self.
Yeah. And continue to lift each other up, right? So we're going to lift up you, William. You're going to do the same for so many people. And everyone that's engaged in our audience is going to do the same. And we all keep doing that. That's how change happens. That's what movement, that's a movement, right? And I am a huge believer that COVID happens for that in a big way, right?
So
thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. And we'll continue to keep in contact and stay in touch. And again, happy birthday.
Thank you. It was great to be here.
Thank you. We loved it.